creating snooker history, and he lifts his 7th UK snooker title.
It's the storybook ending with his 1000th century. Unbelievable. He goes to world #1 for the first time since May 2010. With 36 ranking titles, he equals Stephen Hendry's record.
Hello, good morning and welcome along to day 4 here at the Crucible. Well, Alan and I had to beat the queues this morning because everybody is eagerly anticipating the outcome of Ronnie O'Sullivan against James Cahill. We'll be crossing live to that very shortly. But first of all, to matters last night, and the 3-time world champion, Mark Selby, well, he made it through to round 2. After going 5-1 down, he ended the morning session 5-3 behind. He managed to come back and beat Zhao Jingtong 10-7. That was a well-needed win for Mark, wasn't it?
It sure was, and you know, he had to fight real hard. You know, 5-1 behind early on. He came through in flying colours. He actually scored very heavily, and he schooled the young man in the end, but it was a great test for him.
It certainly was a great test, and he'll be relieved more than anything, won't he? And he certainly was in his post-match interview. Let's hear what he had to say.
Really happy to get over that first round, because like you say, at one stage, 5-1 down, looking like I could be getting out of the tournament, and all the hard work I put in and the practice I put in sort of counts for nothing then. So, yeah, it's not been the greatest season results-wise, but it's not through playing poor snooker. If I was really, really struggling with my game and losing, then I'd be more concerned. But I've been playing OK in patches. It's just coming up against players playing better than me at that particular time. Well,
being a 3-times champion, you can never underestimate him, can you?
Oh, no, not Mark Selby, no, especially here, you know. He's a course and distance man, 3 times a champion, as we say, and he'll have a lot to prove. And that was a good test, as we've already alluded to, for Mark Selby. And going into the draw, he's playing Gary Wilson now. He'll expect to win that match, yes, but now that he's got his teeth into this tournament, he's going to be super dangerous. And
as you said, you know, he's had quite a patchy year. He hasn't had the season that he would have expected or wanted. However, here at the Crucible, it can bring something different out of you.
Yeah, and it probably will, you know. I know he's been practising hard coming in here, as he mentioned. You know, he's been practising a lot with Barry Hawkins, actually, so that'll stand him in good stead. Will it matter to him that he's not world #1 anymore? No, I don't think so. I think he's been there long enough, 49 months, something like that, in a row, which is an amazing achievement. Ronnie's just taken that mantle from him. But no, that's not in his mind at all. It's just win matches here. Well, speaking of Ronnie, if you missed the session yesterday between Ronnie and James Cahill, where were you? Well, don't worry, here's a quick catch-up and a reminder of the story of session 1.
What a shot, though. What a shot. Fabulous first frame for James Cahill. He takes it. Ronnie O'Sullivan levels at 1 frame each.
He's played a couple of excellent recovery shots here to keep this break going. Ronnie O'Sullivan goes to a 2-1 lead. There is quite a deal of pressure on this situation when you're presented with an opportunity you know you should make the most of. James Cahill levels at 2-2. That was a beautiful shot, it really was.
Like to even things up. Well, what a performance from the amateur. He levels again at 3-3.
Oh, I just think he's playing too quickly. James Cahill, he's levelled the score at 4-all. It's probably the worst session of snooker Ronnie O'Sullivan's played this season. Well played.
James Cahill leads Ronnie O'Sullivan, the tournament favourite, 5-4 after the first session.
What an incredible performance from James Cahill. And we can't discredit his performance, but Ronnie wasn't the Ronnie we've seen this season.
No, he wasn't. For me, he was far too casual and laid back about the match. And if you disrespect your opponent or the game, from time to time it will bite you back, even the best players. So Ronnie's got to be on it this morning. That's what we're going to look for. Steve made a good point. 15 seconds a shot is far too quick. He has to just be a bit more studious today for me.
OK, well, let's not forget Stuart Bingham and Graham Dott go head-to-head as well. 2 former world champions. That's an exciting tie for round 1.
Yeah, for me, the tie of the round in terms of the quality both men bring, you know, as you say, both champions. They know what it's all about here. And Graham Dott is near his best form. The qualifying, he only lost a handful of frames. He was awesome last week.
So as for Ronnie and James Cahill is about to play arguably the most important session of snooker in his life?
Yes, without doubt. I mean, as for Ronnie, we know about Ronnie. There's no mistake anymore. We know what he's going to bring. For James, we're going to find out an awful lot about this lad this morning. But more importantly, he's going to find out about himself. If he takes this 7-all, 8-all, the reality will dawn on him. I could take out Ronnie at the Crucible. And when the reality of that kicks in, we're going to find out what he's got.
Just saw a quick shot of Ronnie there. He looks like he's had a haircut.
Yeah, it's something he does. It's strange, isn't it? He almost... I know in the past he's done it as punishment for a bad session. I wonder whether he's been out for a quick trim this morning. Interestingly as well, he's not been in the practice room this morning.
I noticed
you know, we've been in here for an hour. He's not been here. He'd probably been up the road at one of the academies. But big day for the youngster.
Probably likes to keep himself to himself. Yeah. Well, it's now time. Three former world champions and a debutant are about to take to the floor. Rob Walker, it's over to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's day 4 here at the Crucible. We're edging closer to completing the lineup for the second round of this year's Betfred World Snooker Championship. And what a dazzling array of talent waiting backstage. Not 1, not 2, but 3 former champions of the world and this sensational debutante. It's showtime once again here in Sheffield. Please welcome, first of all, a player who so often comes alive at this time of year. He was in ruthless mood at the qualifiers, thrashing Kurt Mafflin 10-2 to secure a 20th Crucible appearance. 3 times a finalist, he lifted the big one in 06. Still going strong, 22 years after his debut here in Sheffield, he's the pocket dynamo, Graham Dott. And his opponent, arriving here at the end of one of his best seasons on tour so far, reaching 3 big finals, taking 2 big titles at the English and Gibraltar Opens. And of course, he enjoyed his finest run of all here in 2015, lifting the big one in a classic final. Here comes the pride of Essex, Stuart Ball Run Bingham. And on table 2, what a superb session yesterday for this talented debutant from Blackpool. He continued his momentum from the qualifiers to more than hold his own against the world #1 and pre-tournament favourite. The first amateur ever to appear at the Crucible. And once again, he will relish this challenge and the opportunity. So come on, Sheffield, give it the big one for James Cahill. And finally, a player still at the very peak of his powers, 26 years after his Crucible debut. What a season. 1,000 centuries, 5 big titles, back to world #1 for the first time in 9 years. 5 times a champion of the world. Blink and you'll miss him. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
You can watch Bingham against Dot on the red button, but we're live here on BBC Two. James Cahill is 5 frames away from producing one of the all-time shocks here at the Crucible. John Virgo and Alan McManus are your commentators.
Thank you, Seema. Good morning, everybody. 2 players both in the seats. Shake hands.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Frame 10, James Cahill to break.
Second session, final session of this first round match. And what an intriguing one it is. And it begs the question almost immediately, Alan, which Ronnie O'Sullivan is going to turn up this morning?
Yes, as I was saying with Seema next door in the studio, he was really quite blasé about his approach yesterday. There's nothing blasé about that. What a starter. Just what he needed.
1.
So many times Johnny produces when he absolutely has to, and he has to this morning. You know, he's 4-3 in front yesterday. James finished the session strongly.
3. Four.
Yeah, I was on the other match yesterday afternoon. I was watching bits of it from what bit I could see of this table from the curtain, and you've only got to look at the shot time for Ronnie to sort of give you a clue that he, if anything, wasn't giving his ability a chance. 15 seconds is too quick.
11.
That's okay if you're in amongst them, everything's straightforward, but you've got to have a bit of thinking time sometimes.
12.
Can't afford to take liberties with the game. Not good on the black. Pink goes, but... So he's taking his black on. It's tricky. Just about struggled in. Good shot.
19.
Yes, and already you
20.
can actually detect just taking his time that bit more this morning. That black especially. He gave himself probably 5 or 6 seconds to just think about it.
26. 27.
What a beautiful little touch that was. My goodness. Stun across the face of the red.
$34. $35.
Just let the cue ball run loose a fraction. He may be able to play a little cannon and hold into those 4 reds just below the pink. Well, he's held it well enough. Frame winning opportunity now for certain.
42. 43.
After this black, another 19 points required to get to the snooker stage. Can't see a problem.
50. 51.
There's an example of the Crucible down on the shot, just about to hit the cue ball, and the
57.
balls from the other side of the arena.
58.
Got to stay focused here. So this blue and one more red.
$63. $64.
In fact, this black to go 71 points in front with just 67 remaining. And it's all happened in less than 5 minutes. But there was a lot more measured
71.
pace about this contribution.
72.
As I say, to my mind, he was playing just a bit too quick yesterday.
$78. $79.
Just the wrong side of the blue, so needs a good shot to continue the break. Lots of right-hand side. Looks to have judged this perfectly. Needs to stop. Oh, it is perfect. Superb.
85.
Yeah, as I said earlier this morning, there's no mystique about O'Sullivan anymore. No surprises. Been doing this type of thing
91.
since Methuselah was a nipper. Look at this. Oh, not quite.
92.
Decided he couldn't do any better than this, so if he's going to make the century,
97.
he needs to pull out a special here. Not quite, no century, but what a start from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And James Cahill is aware now that he's not going to get too many opportunities thrown at him, as was the case in the first session. Ronnie O'Sullivan levels 5-all. Well, terrific opening red iron, and then from there, and as I said at the time, you know, just that more measured approach. Here's the red, and tremendous start to the morning.
It's amazing, isn't it? Timing again, he seems to produce this when he absolutely has to. A stunning shot. It's at this level against a player like O'Sullivan, and look, this is not criticism at all of young James, but going out there this morning, you have to, I mean, look, it was quite a good break off, but you have to cover everything, especially, you know, as I say, the last session when he's famed for producing the goods. He did it actually in the Tour Championship final. He played the middle session against Neil Robertson, and he kind of was very loose, but he got fully tuned in when it mattered towards the end.
Yeah, he's decided to chop the locks off. Hope he's not like Samson, you lose your strength. Yesterday's hair, I will do a little hairstyle. There was his hair yesterday. Bit woolly on top, Ron. Don't blame me for just chopping a few strands off.
Thank you. Thank you. Frame 11. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break. Foul. James Cahill 4.
Something else just worth noting as we get frame 11 underway is that the cushions had a recover last evening at the close of play, not the bedcloth, just the cushions. What that does mean is that any reds along the cushion, maybe playing them softly, they've got more tendency to just slide in off the jaws. Something to bear in mind. Now, tester for James. Where's the red?
Well, maybe a little bit aggrieved that having missed it, which you'd have expected to get it, he's left it on for Ronnie. But what a poor break-off shot from Ronnie to break off and go straight in off.
1.
So without having to do anything, he's back in amongst them.
Eight. Nine.
Yeah, that didn't look much, but he played that lovely. Just to find a nice little angle.
Yeah, that's his
16.
stop shot. Stunning round with 2 cushions, but not quite hard enough, so up for blue or bought colour.
17.
Could hold nicely for the blue. Has his own way of break building, Ronnie. He's not one that immediately goes into the cluster, because every time you play a cannon into a bunch of reds, you are trusting a little bit to luck, and with his ability
22.
and cue ball control, why do that? Well, certainly he can run through for the black here, where he could just flick off the second red.
23.
Got a couple of loose reds to go at.
Yeah, this is quite key now. That red, the loose red, it's key that he can land on that quite straight. Not on that one, but being able to play, as I always say, as a hybrid lefty, that's just fine.
30.
It's some asset, isn't it? He's going to have to work this cue ball. And he lost it though. Just short of the ball
31.
line.
Yeah, he couldn't avoid the kiss on the second red, and well, he can roll green or brown in. He wouldn't have to do much to have a shot at the next red. Oh, once again, we always say when you're striking down on the ball how difficult it can be, but he hit that as sweet as a nut.
34. 35.
Yeah, red nearest the pink will go, I think. So he has options.
So just looking for another 30
42.
points from this position. He may have to play a little cannon to get the reds in play that he
43.
needs, but as Alan said, I think the one immediately below the pink is available to the right corner, and he's landing absolutely inch perfect on the blue. Is he still on this red? He's let that cue
48.
ball just run down the table a little bit too much. Getting down quick, he should be all right.
Ronnie
Well,
O'Sullivan,
he
48.
just overhit that positional shot off the blue, and that's what caused him to be playing this red into a blind pocket. And also it was tight. No doubt he hit the red first, but he should have been straighter on it. Just having a look to see if there's a possibility of a 3-ball plant here. No, he didn't think so. He's just playing safe. He's having another look at the 3-ball plant. He can screw up the table. I'm not certain it's on. Oh, but it was. And it was only a second thought to play it. He wasn't certain, but then he thought, well, I'm taking the cue ball back to the balk end. And it was on that 3-ball plant. Can get him right back in this frame.
7. Thank you. 8.
Nicely on the black. Just play a little cannon into the 4 reds, just below the ping. Just loosen them up. And now set fair for a counter-attack. There's not a difficult ball
15.
on the table, really. Maybe the green, but that's a long way off.
16.
Very loose. James there. He's at least a
23.
foot short of pace. That's where you've got to play for 2 reds, not 1. Little small details like that are the difference in these matches. If you get any aspirations of being a top player, you have to play for 2 reds. Yeah, again, I'm not trying to be overcritical, but that was basic. Now, recovery required. Is he up to it? Oh, by jingo, he is. What a good recovery. But not perfect again. Tricky ping. No guarantee of position. Yeah, what do you do here? I think all you can do is just screw off the cushion for the difficult red behind the black. That's all that you can play here. Played it nicely. Played it very nicely. So shot 2 of the recovery negotiated. Can he make the hat-trick? This is tough. But it could be the key to the clearance. Superb. See there, just
31.
Evidence, I think, of the recloth, the cushions. It was just a bit wide, but it accepted the pot. Get this off the far jaw. Just millimetres of a difference. That's better. Now, being able to play for pink off this red is actually better.
38.
Anything low in the pink now. All about his cue ball.
39.
Just about okay.
So that now takes James Cahill 1 point in the lead.
45.
Just a case of holding yourself together. This is a big steal, this.
$46.
As I say, and I said earlier, the only problem ball is the green, but it doesn't look much of a problem. Just about got on this red. Not perfect by any means.
53.
And in potting it, he may be kissing the pink, so it could affect the position on the colour. Managed to miss the kiss on the pink now. He doesn't want to be straight on this green.
54.
I think he's straight enough. He didn't want to be on the green, but playing the red as he did is the only colour he could play for. Well, hasn't he struck that well? It wasn't much of an angle, but he made the most of it. And now all set fair.
57.
To go back 1 frame in front.
The most impressive thing,
59.
there's been a nonchalance about this contribution. He is right up for the task this morning. And what a blow this would be.
62.
Yes, just the brown needed. And that misread. from Ronnie from a poor positional shot. Has cost him. Very well played.
66. 71. 77.
Outstanding, 84 of the finest. And the young man makes a big statement. He's back in the lead at 6-5.
Quietly as possible, please. Thank you.
Ronnie sips his water and just sits there. Slight yawn, but that was very impressive from young James Cahill. And it all came about this because Ronnie looked to be perfect on the blue. And to me, Alan, when you played a shot, I'd rather come off the side cushion. I think you got more control. If he was high on the red, it wouldn't have mattered. He stunned down, stunned too far, left himself this red, which he was always going to be worried what colour he was going to finish on, and just missed it.
Yeah, just short of, as you say, John, straight in the red. I tell you what, it was a great spot, the 3-ball plant. I didn't see it at all, John. It was value, wasn't it?
Well, the amazing thing was he looked at it, and then he got the rest out as though he was going to play safe and didn't fancy it. And then he thought, well, it'll go close to the pocket. I'm getting a good cue ball. The pink's over the far corner. So he decides to play it. In it goes. And then Ronnie never got a chance to come back to the table. So, well spotted. And as I say, it seems to be a second thought to play it. I bet he's glad he did now.
Yes. That's what we always talk about, value in shots, wasn't it? That was the case in point, as you say. It was good cue ball, pink over the yellow pocket. But to take advantage the way he did, there was a little recovery, wasn't there? 3 shots in a row midway through the break. Outstanding. Lots to think about then.
I think the one thing we haven't seen yet in this match, we haven't seen any safety play. Oh, this morning. I'm not talking about the match this morning. And it'd be interesting to see how, or if James can compete with Ronnie in that side of the game, if there is any. Good shot, needs that cue ball to kiss the yellow full in the face, and it has done. That leaves him a shot at the brown. Good pot this. A lot of left-hand side and drag. And once again, judging the pace nicely for this red, although I say that, he's probably just run an inch too far. Can't play for the black.
6.
I've not got the right side of the blue. Just looking to see if he pots the blue, screws back 18 inches. Can he get to the red to the right corner? If he can't, there's nothing else to play for. Well, left-handed, but
11.
This is no gimme. Played it delightfully and controlled the cue ball. Low on the black, so he's going to have to play a cannon. First glance, he doesn't look to be on anything. Now, this will decide how Ronnie's going to play this match now. I mean, if he's not on anything, he's got to concentrate on playing a good safety. He's looking at an outrageous plant to the middle.
Yeah, this is big odds against. Oh, by Jove, he's got it. He's got it.
And I suppose when you get it, there's no criticism.
But yeah, it was definitely odds against. I mean, every credit for knocking it in as we see it again there. The thing about it, he was leaving a red to
27.
that same middle, wasn't he?
Absolutely. So it was risky. Listen, with a player of this man's ability, you can believe you can pot everything, but nobody can pot everything. And as James Cahill proved in the last frame, given half a chance,
33.
he's quite capable of winning frames at one visit.
34.
Didn't hit that well.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Yeah,
34.
poor positional shot on the black. Shouldn't have left himself that close to the side cushion and that straight. And when you're trying to force them in, coming round off two cushions, they're missable at that pace.
One.
This red on our screens looks fairly straightforward, but oh, this is a tough shot. This takes timing. Oh, what a shot that is. That is a beautiful shot. So, objective number one then, get right back in the frame. He's going to need the difficult red if it's to win it at this visit. As I say, first things first.
$15.
Yeah, the five reds are just a tad awkward. So it's critical. You get a nice angle in the next colour. I wonder if there's value in topping this through and trying to dislodge the red this time. It just depends. He may just try and snick the red and push it out. Oh, good shot.
16.
The only problem with that, and as Eddie Charlton used to say, when you pot a red and try to develop another red, you never guaranteed good position on the colour. Although, having said that, this blue isn't too difficult. That's nicely rolled in. But still a little bit of work to do. This red easy enough to the left middle, but he needs good cue ball control here.
Yeah, what he will do here, I think, is play for pink and black if he can play two cushions. Well, he's going deep, so maybe he's got to go back for blue. Yeah. Has he got the pace in it? Nope.
22.
Short, so we know the pink doesn't go. Shot here, if he's brave enough, yeah, he's looking through green and brown, bit of right hand side, two cushions, and actually try and find the gap between the reds. That's what he'll be playing. Ah, it was tough. At least he may have gotten away with it, but has he left the red left centre?
James Cahill, 22.
Yeah, I think he has.
Yeah, and you know the way Ronnie O'Sullivan is playing, he's not going to refuse anything that's possible. But that doesn't make this red any of the easier, particularly if he's straight on it. And these middle pockets You don't want to be trying to pinch anything. Playing it with pace. So hard, those shots. Got to be so accurate. And James can pot this red to the left middle, and I think if he rolls it in and it goes in, he'd be on the black for certain. Just 12 points behind. Any harder, it wouldn't have dropped. But it did, and he's on the black. Played to screw past that red. It's a bonus being on it to the middle. But once again, these middle pockets are tricky.
James Cahill, 8.
So he's left this red just to the left of the blue to the far right corner. Ronnie comes to the table with a 4-point lead. If you can get these 4 reds with colours, it would be enough to win the frame. But it's not a formality. But he couldn't have started it better. Lovely shot to get on the black. Now what sort of an angle has he got? I think he's okay. He can run round off 2 cushions. Well, you could hear the ooh from the Crucible audience as that rattled its way in.
9.
I'm not certain if that red just to the right of the green will pass the blue. If it does, shouldn't be a well. That cue ball needs to run. He snookered himself on the red he played on.
15.
So I'll ask the question again, does this red pass the blue? Well, it did just pass the blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 15.
But it was a tough shot. It was a poor shot off the pink for position. So that's 2 positional shots, 1 in the last frame and 1 in this one that could cost him dear here.
1.
Isn't it funny what a clearance like James producing that last frame can do to the dynamic of a match? He's definitely got Ronnie on the rack at the minute. Can he keep him there? This frame actually. Oh, James, that is basic for any player at this standard.
James
I was about to say
5.
this frame really won't start in earnest until we get to the green. Obviously, it's going to be the key ball.
Yeah, be disappointed. Unforced error at a vital time. Half-hearted attempt to the pot, more concerned about the cue ball. One of the few times, Alan, I can remember in this session so far this morning where James Cahill has not come to the table and had a pot on.
Yeah. Now, will Ronnie be tempted to try and lift the green?
a chance, but as Alan has already said, the green is going to be the key ball to this frame. Played that confidently enough, and got a nice angle on the black to go up for the yellow.
Yeah, just checking the scoreboard now. He has options here. Obviously going to play for yellow. Be nice to drop in behind the green, but if he doesn't, he has to make sure that he gains the upper hand in the little safety battle. This looks good though. This looks a nice angle to just drop in behind it. Now this is key. Get close. Just off straight would be ideal on the green. Imperative he gets close in behind it. Very nice.
10.
Just off straight. This is all composure. This shot is. Don't overhit it.
Up to and including the pink to steal another frame.
Oh yeah, we didn't overhit it. The composure is there. Gonna need more of it. One behind. Brown, blue, and pink required. Sweet. As a bun. Just got the right angle on the blue then.
$22.
There's never been more than a frame in it in this match, but now there is. James Cahill with another clearance to open up the two-frame lead. He's in charge, he's 7-5 in front.
Well, as in the last, or the frame before, Ronnie looked to have the frame at his mercy. Played his pink in the middle. Have to play this with a lot of top and a lot of top spin to come off the side cushion, but he didn't cue it as well as you would normally expect him to. He's such a smooth cueist, is Ronnie. Now, was there a bounce or something? Didn't look like one, but he just got no action into the cue ball whatsoever. And once the pink was respotted, the red he played for was covered. The red that was just to the right of the green, just past the blue, but from that distance it was always going to be difficult. He was given another chance after that, but he's got a match on now. But the one thing, and I did mention it just casually, that was the first, there was one shot where James Cahill came to the table and wanted a pot on. I think Ronnie's just playing into his hands. He's just playing a very open game. We know, apart from his break, but Ronnie O'Sullivan is one of the best safety players in it. So why doesn't he just take time and just slow it down a bit?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Knuckle down. There's nothing better in this game. If you feel like your opponent's just off the pace, and you feel like you're going to get a few freebies.
Thank you, frame 13.
So, as I say,
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Two-frame gap for the first time. A massive frame. The last before the interval. And for all that Ronnie's been off the pace this morning, we have to give massive credit to James. He has been superb. Two clearances have been outstanding. I think that, as I say, the watchword has been composure, and he's shown it in spades today. That's a clever safety shot too. Trying to utilise green as the blocker, and he's got it. Fabulous safety shot.
One cushion escape, just nestling too close. You always got to be careful. You don't just misjudge this and it slides by the main bunch. Looks a good line, but does it reach?
Foul.
It doesn't.
Miss. James Cahill 4.
he won't be too bothered, just giving 4 points away. He's got the line. Just needs a bit more pace.
Yeah, just a lack of porridge. So, but yeah, this is quite dangerous with that red below the pack that's in the open.
Yeah, a bit back then. Yeah. Can you bring it up, Desi, please?
Yeah, Ronnie decides to go back to his seat and lets the referee
Good.
and
Yes.
the assistant referee.
Ronnie,
Desi.
have a look, please. Yeah, James, thank you.
And it is important because obviously Ronnie's got the line. It's just that little bit of extra pace he needs. And as I say, you've got to be careful you just don't slide by the cluster. Does this reach? Does this reach?
Foul and a miss. James Cahill 4. And again, Desi.
They look insignificant, these points that are given away, 8 of them at the moment. But it can make the difference near the end of a frame, whether someone needs a blue or blue and pink.
Yes. James, thank you.
Yeah, so no warning, so you obviously can't see a red full ball. Third time of asking. He's got the pace this time. Doesn't want to slip off them. Yeah, got it full ball.
Been quite impressed with his change of hands as well, James Cahill. Uses his left hand with very good effect. Now Ronnie needs a good safety here, needs to find that baulk cushion. Got to be careful he doesn't knock a red over the corner pocket. Under hit it, much too thick. Only the green can save him really, and it hasn't done. And when I say save him, hamper. Make it hampered queuing, but no, left a half ball pot on, hand on the table. Wouldn't expect young James to miss this. Well, it was a half chance and a good one. Doesn't seem to have left anything, so once again, safety. And Ronnie trying to bring the black into play, but he's knocked a red over the corner. And not found the baulk cushion. Annoyed is where he might be.
One.
Yeah, that was a calculated risk, wasn't it? A wee bit unfortunate. I don't think the blue's really on. I mean, he'd have to work the cue ball. In terms of position, bridging over the pack, it's awkward. I think just the way the session's panning out this morning, it's just baulk cushion required here. I know the eyes of the snooker world are on this match. I think another interested spectator will be Stephen Maguire, who plays the winner of this match on Friday and Saturday. Stephen did go home after his famous win against Tian Ping Fei in the deciding frame.
Meanwhile, Ronnie trying to see a path back to baulk. It's very dangerous if he tries to go back to baulk, particularly with that red near the right hand side cushion. You would think it would call for containing, but he's trying to get back to balk, it appears. Oh, superb. That's as good as a shot as he's played this morning. That is absolutely top draw. He needs a few more of those.
A rare loose shot from James this morning. No, he's not with it, Ronnie. He's not with it at all. I mean, that's not a sitter, but can't afford to be missing those. 7-5 behind. Boy, oh boy, this is a tough red he's taken on. He'll have to be so accurate to find the gap for the black. That's if he pots it. Oh, what a shot, and he's got the gap. That is awesome. Other thing that does, it tells Ronnie, you leave one sticking out, I'm not going to hang back, I'm going to go for it. I want to win this match. Oh, that was beautiful as well. Lovely control. Black will go. Left corner only, and he has access to it.
8. Nine.
Well, he's given himself the opportunity now. He can't obviously win the frame with the loose reds. He's sometimes going to have to open that bunch of 6 in the middle of the table. He could have played that better. That's by no means perfect.
16.
This is tricky now, this red. And when a pot's tricky, you concentrate all your efforts into the pot, you never guarantee position. Well, he played it well, he managed to hold. He's got a nice fluency around the table. And I think when you're playing someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan, look at the average shot time.
24.
21 minutes, that's pretty quick. 15, maybe a bit too quick. I think when you're playing someone like Ronnie O'Sullivan, you can either be overawed or enjoy it. And I think he's enjoying the challenges, James. I have to say, in the first session, from what little bit I saw of it, he wasn't asked many questions to force Ronnie into a mistake to get in. Ronnie was making his own mistakes. This is a big frame, this. Mid-session interval coming up after this one. And a 3-frame advantage. Give an awful lot for Ronnie O'Sullivan to think about. So he decided there to play the cannon. Not ideal. He's still
32.
got a red to the left corner, but he can't avoid a kiss on the second red. So that could affect position on the colour. Well, made certain of the red, but as I say, not certain where the colour is. I mean, okay, you could think of the green, but surely that'd be too risky to take on. 42-point advantage.
Brown ball.
No need to push the balls out.
James Cahill, 33.
In a spot of bother here, Ronnie. This isn't a straightforward safety. And he knows that if he gives one more chance to James Cahill, it could be frame over. Well, from where he was, that's a pretty good effort. That's a very good shot. I know he's not found the baulk cushion, but he was in big trouble there.
Not hanging back again here, James. He's looking, he's itching to take this just off straight red, but this cueing is so difficult for a professional player. It's the hardest, one of the hardest shots in the game, cueing diagonally off the cushion. Awkward bridge hand, awkward cueing. Look at this. He can't afford to miss this thin. He'll collide with a red. He's missed it thin, collided with a red. And he's left at least one or two. So, was that the time? Maybe just batten down the hatches. I mean, again, it's a judgment call, and credit to him for being positive. Now Ronnie has to produce something.
One.
Cued that one sweetly enough, but there's pressure now on every shot for Ronnie. He knows that if he misses, James Cahill will have the opportunity to take a 3-frame advantage.
Nine.
On the pink, not ideal. Potting angle taking him away from the reds. But it's advantageous to his cause that the pink is now on its spot, so he's got pink and black to play for.
15.
Well, trying to hold.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 15.
And not good signs for Ronnie O'Sullivan fans, that.
One.
Yeah, just off straight, trying to hold it. Another day, he could have rolled it in and bounced off the top cushion. But still, you wouldn't expect him to miss it. And once again, James Cahill comes to the table, doesn't have to do anything. Got a nice, easy starter and a chance to take a 3-frame advantage to his dressing room.
Yeah, scoreboard check. 3 reds and 3 big colours will be enough.
9.
35 before that one. So, once again, hold yourself together. You've got a 3-frame lead. $15. 16.
Well, used all the pocket there, but in it dropped. Looking for the colour and one more red. Bit of tension in the arm there. That's why he's on this tricky pink to the middle. And after this pink, looking for one more red. Oh, it just fell to the near jaw.
James Cahill, 16.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan gets a reprieve. Comes to the table 43 points behind, 59 remaining. Wow, another miss. And just gifted this frame now to James Cahill, because this red and the black would put him 51 points in front with 51 remaining. So he's still going to need one more red, but he won't be happy, Ronnie. Such a naturally gifted player, and that natural ability is not coming to the fore yet. So there you see it, 51 ahead, 51 remaining. Well, the red he needs isn't on yet, unless he plays a double of some kind. can just flick off this red and leave it near the side cushion. So he's got 3 awkward reds to as a bit of insurance, with Ronnie being 51
James
points
Cahill
behind
takes.
with 51 remaining. Even if he gets a chance, it's going to be a big ask to win the frame or get to a respotted black. And once again, playing the pot. James Cahill comes to the table with a pot on. Doesn't have to do anything. He just keeps coming to the table and he'll have something to go at. And he's got it. And that is now this frame over. Ronnie will go to the mid-session interval. The way he started off this morning's session.
8.
And levelled at 5-all. You thought, well, better things to come, but it's James Cahill now, who's in control of the table. Doesn't matter about the black. Ronnie O'Sullivan will concede, and they go to their dressing room. He's getting a lot of encouragement, is the rookie. Ronnie O'Sullivan with a lot to think about. He now trails by 3. James Cahill just 2 frames away from one of the biggest shocks ever at the World Championship. 8-5, he leads.
It certainly will be one of the biggest shocks ever if he pulls this off. Now, I've been watching the match in here in the practice room on the screen. You were in the commentary box. How tense was it out there? Because I could feel the tension in here. Yeah, it's very tense. You can sense it out there, and the patrons sense something in the air here that, as JV said, history could be made. It's one thing coming here as an amateur, but to potentially take out the world #1 and Ronnie O'Sullivan could be in the offing here. Are you surprised from what you've seen from Ronnie? Not really. Not on the evidence of what we saw yesterday. He was not with it, and he's not been with it today. He's playing it again far too casual. Simple as that. And if you do that, you're asking for trouble at any level, far less this level, you know. So he's got a lot to think about in the dressing room. We mentioned when he wasn't in here this morning, you know, loosening up. You have to prepare properly, otherwise you're asking for it. Well, you mentioned that he wasn't with it, but in frame 1, I felt like he made a real statement with that first red, and we almost thought the Rocket's back. Yeah, it's almost like his talent, again, is just coming and not saving him, but his talent is shining through there. It's almost, you know, that's what he can do. He can do that at any given moment, but it was after that we saw some real loose shots, but loose mentally more than anything else, you know. He's still going... jogging along there at 15 seconds a shot. That is too quick, you know. Whether he can save this, I don't know, but he's got a lot to think about in his dressing room. Well, he did go on to take that first frame of the second session, but then in the next frame, Cahill, well, he registered a fantastic plant to the bottom right. How impressed were you with this? Well, brilliant. I mean, it's offset, as if we see it from behind the pocket. It was just set to the right jaw there. The first red's, as I say, going to offset it. It was beautifully judged. Got the bonus of the 2 reds going near the left corner, but it was the composure that he showed to make the clearance that was incredible. And look, in saying that, look, he's beaten Mark Selby this season. He's beaten Sean Murphy this season. He's a blooming good player. He's beaten Ding as well in the past, hasn't he? He's beaten Ding in the past. He's beaten Holty this season as well. So he's got a real good resume. It's not like he's coming in wet behind the ears. He fancies it. Ronnie's got to realise that. Do you know something that surprises me, though, is that, you know, when you're at the Crucible, you've got the TV lights, you know, all eyes are on you, especially when you're up against the Rocket, but it doesn't seem to faze him. No, I think he's got one of those games, James, where he believes in himself and he's got bags of ability. He's not on the tour, but that's only on paper. You know, pieces of paper don't win matches. Ability does. He's got the ability. Ronnie has to realise that and knuckle down and accept that he's in a tough match. If he doesn't, I think James is going to get this done. OK, well, let's bring you up to speed with what's been going on table 1 between Bingham and Dott. So we're looking at 2 former world champions going head-to-head here. They've met on 10 occasions, Bingham winning the majority of their meetings. They actually last met in 2018 at the China Open, so they haven't faced each other in over a year. So let's bring you up to speed with what actually happened. So Bingham got off to a winning start in this match. He took frame 1. But then in frame 2, which is where we're going to join, Bingham's at the table and he's 15 points ahead.
you see a very beautifully crafted and designed butt on Stuart Bingham's cue. Very unusual design.
It wasn't a beautifully designed pot he pulled off there, that's for sure. It didn't cue that one smoothly. I mean, Stuart has the better of Graham. He's won 7 times to Graham's 3 times.
Graham takes the opportunity to play an attacking double. It's giving him a good chance here.
8.
Just been a little bit out of sorts so far this morning.
9.
But that won't last long.
That's fine, he can roll this
16.
in, not cannon the red on the cushion, finish nicely on the black.
7.
The key shot coming up. He wants to cannon into the 2 reds, not the 1. The 2 reds would be ideal. That's where he'd love to get the cannon. And he didn't. He caught the end red. He needed to, let's just show 24. You it again. Instead of getting in the middle of those 2 reds, caught the end one, and well, it's on for the corner pocket. But he only really developed the 1 red just because he didn't get the cannon as he intended. Good recovery there. You could see the way he was striking with the top spin to run through for the pink. You can see just striking above center there. Now how's your luck, Graham? It's not bad.
Well, the previous red into the green pocket was a cracking pot, because when you're that close to the cue ball, it's very easy just to get a touch of side on and pull the red thin, so he really struck that well.
32.
Just needs to be a little bit careful with the cannon here. He doesn't want to stick on the red, which is directly above the black and to the left. He just caught the cluster too thin there.
39.
Just coming around to see if there's a plant. This is a very thin safety shot. I'd love to get the cue ball behind the brown and green here. That's too thick.
Green dot. 39.
Now the green has come to his rescue. This is very awkward cueing now for Stuart Bingham. Does have a shot to nothing into the left-hand black pocket, but this is really awkward cueing. Very easy to hit this thick or thin. Probably just got a touch of right-hand side on that, sending the red thick. If he hadn't been hampered by the green, he would have had an excellent chance of potting that red. Graham's got a similar shot, but he's not hampered. He'll be on the yellow if this goes in. Well played.
1.
looking at a classic shot to nothing. Wasn't leaving anything, potted it. He was on the yellow, as Peter said. Oh, he's played this well. Oh, that seems to have just kept on running. Is he just okay? I think so, looking at the body language. It looked as if it was going to nestle on the red and snooker himself. Needs to pull up. Gone that little bit further than he wanted. When you're level with the yellow, you know that it's a thinnish snick.
Graham's just struggling with the pace of the table at the moment. It's running approximately a foot quicker than he's anticipating. And he's just had the cue ball clean. The only problem with having the cue ball clean is it makes the cue ball throw off more with side. And he will be playing this with left-hand side. The fact that he's above the centre of the white will compensate that somewhat. But he's actually overcut it. Well, that was quite incredible. I must admit, Dennis, I'm never in favour of cleaning the cue ball when you've got a tricky shot, when you have to play with side, because it definitely makes the cue ball throw off differently.
Yeah, you could be right, Peter. And of course, the referee's got the gloves on. He's rubbing and at the ball, and I always felt that there was a little bit of static could be created when you do that. Oh, he's potted one with the rest. He missed a couple. One. In the opening frame. In fact, this was more difficult than the couple he missed with the rest, but he's got, well, there's only two really easy reds after this one. No. And even that one on the right side of the table, you wouldn't say it was easy. Now he's got an angle on the pink to just drop in behind that red. If you could get just about 12 inches behind it. Yeah, doesn't need the rest this time, but it's all about getting an angle on the colour when he pots this. Yeah, got a little bit of angle to work with here. Now, has he got an angle on the black? He hasn't hit it hard enough. Needed the white to travel another 6 to 8 inches. He got a pot of the black, developed the two reds.
Well, it's not an easy shot to judge, but I think there's value in playing the yellow and trying to cannon it into the two reds. If he catches the red on the left-hand side with pace, he could be pushing the other red towards the right-hand black pocket. He's not looked at it, but I think that there's real good value in taking the yellow on here. Can always play safe if it goes wrong. Well, that's a little surprising for me, Dennis. I think that was an opportunity worth exploring.
31.
Well, he's hit that far too thick. He wanted a little thin snick off the red, and he's hit it much thicker. Now, will Graham knock this in? He'll have a go at it, that's for sure. And he could finish nicely on the black in such a way that he could get to that difficult red. Big shot coming up. Wow. He won't want to You wouldn't want to see an action replay of that attempt because he missed the pot by a mile. Wow, look how far he missed that by.
Well, that miss from Graham just goes to prove how much left-hand side he got on the cue ball there, because if he'd have played that plain ball, he could not possibly have missed it by that far. That's purely the pace that the cue went through the cue ball, combined with the extreme degree of left-hand side that he had on the cue ball there. Well, this is no gimme. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. Well played.
He's going to need up until and including the blue, because if he gets that far, he'd be 18 in front with 18 remaining, so he's going to need 16. The blue.
$80. $21. $25.
Just the blue needed then for a 2-0 lead, and it'll give Graham Dott just a little bit to think about. Graham hasn't quite settled just yet.
30.
He's had plenty of chances, but hasn't settled.
Nice thinking to the yellow pocket. And Stuart Bingham goes into a 2 frames to 0 lead. Graham Dott a bit out of sorts so far.
Well, you can continue watching that match between Bingham and Dott over on the red button. But no doubt the story of the morning is James Cahill leading Ronnie O'Sullivan 8-5. And you said earlier on that Cahill's going to find out a lot about himself in this session. And he certainly will have, and so have we.
Yeah, we're finding out a lot about this lad. You never really know until you come here and play and experience it, whether you're going to fit in, whether the Crucible suits you. We've seen guys come here many times in the past and crumble under the pressure. For whatever reason, you can't put your finger on the reason for it, but what we do know is that James is enjoying himself out there. He's having a ball, and I don't see him balking at the winning line. If he's not shown any sign of seeing the winning line yet, that will come. But I don't think he's going to have a problem getting over it. You just feel that way. OK, from Ronnie's perspective, he's a champion. He's the world #1. He has to dig deep now. He's got to dig very deep. As I say, I don't think his opponent's going to just give him the match here. He's going to get punished. He's going to have to find something in the dressing room because he's not been with it today. There's no doubt about it. He's got it all to prove. Yeah, and we spoke previously about him working with sports psychologists like Steve Peters. But as we've said, all of that aside, this is his moment now to prove why he is world #1. Yeah, when you go out there, you don't have many friends. The only one you've got is your cue and your technique. Apart from that, forget it. You've got to figure it out yourself out there. It's a puzzle, not just on the table. It's a puzzle of the mind. It's a frame of mind out there. He's got to find out a way of getting this done, you know. Do you think the interval perhaps came at the right time for Ronnie, for him to reset? I don't think it'll do him any harm. I would have liked to have seen him in the practice room if I was in his corner. He hasn't been in here, so we're going to find out, as I say, you know, how he handles this as the boys just make their way out. OK, well, I hope you got your running shoes on, because we're going to run back to the commentary box. Thank you for that, and we'll head back to John Virgo.
Thank you, frame 14.
Yes, thank you, Seema. Big moments now in the snooker life of James Cahill. the red towards the corner, needs the yellow to come to his rescue. And it has. It has. It worked out to be a good safety shot now. Just coming off the 2 cushions to nestle on this red near the left corner. Judged it nicely. We always say in these situations, as long as you can keep your opponent 2 frames away from the winning line, it gives you a little bit of elbow room, so to speak. But what's this shot? I mean, that's unbelievable. And if he's covered the red with the blue, Ronnie O'Sullivan has been very fortunate. I mean, that was just an elementary error. One of many in this match, it has to be said. Having to swerve it. Got to be careful, the off. No, but it went in. Not good on the black. But he's having a look at the potting angle. He's not holding back, this young man. Tough shot, this, though.
Yeah, sure.
Well, how would you like to be in James Cahill? Corner there's his mother and father, Patrick, Maria, his mother, and Maria, his sister. And sat on the edge of the seats. Big shot coming up. Well, it's struggled in. It's struggled in.
8.
Oh, yet
9.
again. No sign of tension in the right arm there on delivery as well. That's what you look for, as I said. Doesn't look like he's seen the winning line at all yet, and that's a good sign. He's just playing snooker. Pure and simple. And just overcooked that. It does have a red to the far corner.
16.
For a player of James' class, shouldn't be a problem. Struggled in. As I mentioned at the top this morning, new cushions on the new cloth on the cushions, sorry. That just helped.
$22.
Nicely on this red. A few loose reds that are available, but maybe looking for an angle on the black to just go into that cluster. They're quite loose, so you wouldn't have to go into it with too much
23.
pace. Well, that won't be an option now. Too straight on this black. Trying to force the angle. Oh, well.
Quiet down, please.
These things happen.
30.
You'd wonder how this went in, wouldn't you? Well, he didn't take advantage
James Cahill,
of
30.
that stroke of good fortune. Disappointing miss, that one. And I don't think he missed it because he was feeling guilty.
1.
So, Ronnie, with a chance. Nice angle on the black. We'll probably go into them because he's only one loose red and he's got to disturb something at some time, and he couldn't get a better opportunity than this. But Not on anything ideal. He's got this cut to the right corner.
8.
And just about reach over. On tippy toes.
9.
Absolutely perfect on the blue. Big moments
14.
in the match now for me, this. Ronnie needs to make the most of this opportunity that's
15.
presented itself from nowhere, really.
$22. $23.
Well, red available into the right corner just below the pink. Can he hold for it off this blue? He could, quite comfortably. But now, after this red,
28.
the work starts, because red's a little bit awkward.
29.
And he needs an angle on the black, which I think he's just about got one. Obviously the red second from the pink goes to the left corner. And of course in potting this he'll release the other one.
36.
He's not on it ideal, has to be said. But he's on it.
37.
But because he was running off the second red, has not got ideal position on the blue. And it's not, well, it needed a good shot off the green. The cue ball will be travelling a distance, so needs to judge the pace correctly. Hit this too hard.
$40.
So that's end of break. Quick glance at the scoreboard, got a 10-point advantage now. Good safety shot required.
He's playing the double.
Well, he's got the double. I'm not going to say it was a wrong shot, but we know with doubles, if they don't go in and they hit the far jaw, that he could have come back and left James Cahill a shot on. But it went in. And now a chance to win the frame at this
48.
visit and punish young James for that easy misread into the corner.
49.
Now, I'm not certain about the availability of these two reds just to the right of the pink, and I don't know if he's got the angle on the pink to nudge into them. Well, he did. Another quick glance at the scoreboard, 25 points in front.
55.
Two reds, two colours still needed.
56.
Yeah, he's been looking for some inspiration all morning. Will adversity be the factor that he just needed to get himself going?
Yeah, he still seems to me, though, Alan, to be treading a fine line
62.
with the shot selection.
63.
So this black to go 40 points in front with just 35 remaining.
Yeah, he seems to be playing more an instinct this morning
70.
than method.
Another double will keep James Cahill in his seat. When he fluked the black, you thought, well, what a chance to win the frame, but he missed an easy red. And he's been punished for it.
$77. 79.
I'd hold on to your hats, folks. I think we're in for a roller coaster ride here of some magnitude.
82. '86. Switch that off, please.
Rob Walker, RMC, reminds everybody to switch the phones off.
91.
Always somebody who forgets.
97.
And this for the century. Superb. That's what Ronnie O'Sullivan is all about. He pulls the frame back, but he's still back, is firmly against the wall. He trails now 8-6. Well, it's amazing how it can all turn in one shot, two shots. When James missed that black and fluked it, you thought, well, the stars are aligned for him.
Yeah, here's the fluke black again. He just overplayed it, and he just, when you hit at full pace on these tables, it's easy to just stray offline. The black comes across and in the same pocket. Was his concentration affected by that? I wonder if that was a factor in the missed red just straight after it. Here it is, leaves it on the far jaw. You know, he sort of hit this instead of stroking. It's the type of shot you want to be nice and gentle and nice and top side of the cue ball to get those revs. He sort of hit it at the pocket and it didn't accept it.
Yeah, and with what's gone before and the pressure that Ronnie O'Sullivan's under, fair play, he did keep the break going with a risky double, it has to be said. I don't think he's going to be able to take too many risks from here on in, because James Cahill, as you've mentioned, doesn't look to be shying away from the winning line. Okay, he's got an odd miss in him, but that's understandable.
Yeah, that's the game, isn't it? Everyone's human.
Thank you, frame 15. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Don't seek perfection in this game because you ain't going to find it, but you can catch excellence. James has been very good this morning. Now, break off by Ronnie last time round was not good. That's better.
That was a good shot. Okay, it may be a bonus that he's got the snooker, but to play that red up and down the table and avoid the kiss on the yellow, well, there is a gap, but not one to get back to the balk end, but such a big target. Should be easy to hit. Looks like he's coming off two cushions, nestling to the back of the reds. He's misjudged this, has he? That's
Foul.
careless to
And a
hit
miss.
the black.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 7.
Very careless. Not finding the balk cushion enough for me, isn't Ronnie? You find the balk cushion and nothing's easy. And having not found it and getting his hand on the table, eyeing up a pot here.
I think he may be playing just a soft, deep drag here and play for black. Yeah. What a shot. What a well picked out shot. Very unfortunate. Just overcooked it. But what a creative little shot that was. Deep drag. He knew he was catching the black full.
Bramble. James Cahill 1.
So it'll be Ronnie now. Will have to come round off two cushions and nestle into the bottom of the cluster. nicely, but just wonder if the end red is possible to the far right corner. And if he potted it, he would have a shot at the black. He's taking it on.
He just has to be mindful here of getting enough pace in the red. If he does miss it, it comes away from the pocket.
Yeah, well, he used the main bunch as a cover. I'm just wondering if the end red, the left-hand red of the bunch will go. And if that red's stopping it going, he's been fortunate there. Does it go? Or will he knock one red onto the other? He played the one red onto the other, and where's this red running to? Maybe just bounced enough to not be potable. Needs to be a bit more patient for me. Just send the red down this end. Cannon into the brown, should hold the cue ball near the baulk cushion. They're all big frames. This is massive. A little bit pacey. Don't know whether Ronnie can get round to cut this red in. Ronnie's asked for the long rest immediately. It seemed any sniff of a pot, he's going to take it on. And if you were playing someone like that, I mean, it certainly encourages you, doesn't it, to try and play a few good safety shots and leave risky shots. Not purposely, but you don't mind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Can he just get this cue ball? Can he get deep enough to avoid the other red? I think he can here. Swing the cue ball round the corner. Oh, well played. Well played.
Yeah, played it nicely.
Thank you.
I'm not certain about the availability of the red in the middle of the table. If we look at that good shot again.
One.
He's nicely on the black, but when it's re-spotted, does it tie the loose red up? If it does, we may see him potting the black, coming off the side cushion with lots of pace and trying to cannon into the main bunch. That was the idea, but he caught the red full, took all the pace out of the cue ball.
8.
One good sign I detected before he played that black there was watching Ronnie's eyes before going into the shot, and he was scanning around. He was looking at his options. He's not done too much of that in this match, but that is a
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
good sign, as I say, for any Ronnie fans out there, and I know there's a lot of them.
Yeah, for all the ability that you have, you know, if the balls just aren't running for you at a certain stage, you just got to take a step back. He was eulogising over Tiger Woods winning the Masters, but Tiger didn't win it by going for everything. He just sometimes had to play hard and make certain you cut out the unforced errors. Is this hard enough?
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
So Ronnie, no hesitation in having the balls replaced.
James? Ronnie?
Got the pace this time. Or has he?
foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
And these points can add up at the end of a frame. As I said before, it can make the difference between needing up to the brown or up to the blue and needing a awkward pink and black.
Yeah, Ronnie looks a bit jaded there in his chair, doesn't he? But
sure? Yes.
look at Mark Selby last night, 5-1 behind. Came through his match as Ollie Martiel administers the 3 strikes and you're out rule, the warning.
Yes, because he can clearly hit a red full in the face, and the danger here, for Ronnie, if you like, is that James may be forced into playing the pot here. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility. If he did, he'd be nicely on the black. Big shot to take on. He's refused it, obviously, twice by trying to come round off 2 cushions. But I think he's forced to take it on. I don't see a containing safety off this red. Big shot.
Yeah, I mean, he could play cushion first and park the cue ball down in the corner. I mean, if he goes for it, it's a 1 in probably 50 at the pace he's going to play it.
Well,
Not the worst outcome, is it, JV?
No, the double kiss sometimes can leave the red on, but you'll be pleased with the outcome.
Now, that red on the right-hand side, Ronnie has to cover that. He has to cover it, and he hasn't. Not saying it's easy, far from it, but he can get through to both reds.
Yeah, and once again, he's not found the baulk cushion. These reds, as you say, both of them are potable. If he was tight to the baulk cushion, it'd be difficult, but he can impart a bit of side. And it went just to look for position, and he's okay. He's just about on the blue. And with the brown not being on its spot, it's an easy path in and out of the baulk end.
Yeah, no. He's playing for the red that's virtually covering the pink spot. If he lands nice on this, this is a great chance. Needs to spin. No, he's not spun. I mean, the one above the pink will go, so he's all right.
6.
He just really wants to get rid of that red by the pink spot.
Seven.
Oh, that was sweet as a bag of sugar, that little shot. He's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, the good thing about playing for that red, if he does, well, he just overcooked it. He's all right. Just might have to play for the pink in the opposite corner. Just overcooked it by 6 or 8 inches. Yeah, he's not playing it because he's worried about getting a kick. Playing a cannon on it. Not absolutely perfect. I want to play another little cannon, just to push the red a few inches towards the left middle. Do not take your eye off the pot. Just fighting for position here. He's not bad, but he's not perfect.
19.
I think when you keep losing the cue ball, you lose rhythm, you lose cadence. You see, having to just get rests out and having scanning around, you don't get in the rhythm of the flow that he was in earlier.
James Cahill, 19.
Caused a miss. A full stretch and just hit slightly across the cue ball, threw it off. Ronnie's got this red to the right middle, but not certain if he can hold for the pink in the same pocket. Well, he could.
One.
Lovely touch. May play for the red that's just to the left of the black here. And the reason I say that, that would clear the black for the left corner pocket. Gives him something to work at. Never misses a trick, normally.
7.
Doesn't Ronnie, in break building.
Eight.
A little bit further up the table than he needed to be here. But he didn't want to be the wrong side of the pink. And now it's gone in. He can start playing on the black. That's a good chance.
14. $15.
Yeah, decided to go up for the pink, but finishing straight on it. He's going to have to cue this
21.
well.
$22.
And there's never been a better player for me in getting the right side of the blue off shots like that, but he needs a good positional shot still here. Playing for the red just to the right of the black. He's got to cue this well. He'll be digging down slightly to play for the black in the same pocket. A bit closer to the cushion than he would like. Made light of it. So this cannon could be the key to the frame. That's at the scoreboard, 38 points of lead. 2 reds, 2 blacks. We'll see him over the line in this frame. Or 2 high-value colours. He looks like he's playing for the pink. No. Well, decided to play the shot up and down the table to get on the black.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 35.
Well, was it the right shot? Was it the wrong shot? It's his decision, but once again, a shot that's questionable.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just stun the cue ball onto the pink spot there, and he's got the dolly pink to middle. Strange choice. Anyway, half chance for James. Yep.
Yeah, it was one of those opportunities where you could only look to get back in the frame. You couldn't think of winning the frame at that visit. But of course, when you miss the red, you've almost certainly lost it.
One.
And Ronnie, well, after this blue, as we look at James there, bit of a head scratcher, but doesn't seem to be panicking. And he shouldn't. He's still in the box seat, so to speak.
6.
And the fact that he won't be able to play for the black here, he's still going to need red, cover red. Nice pot, but the next red is not going to be easy. The frame clincher.
7.
This green would put him 48 points in front, but there's still 51 remaining. To the inch. To the absolute inch. No heroics here, just make certain of the red. Should have rolled it in.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 10.
It's run safe.
Thank you.
48 points to lead, 51 remaining, so James Cahill is still just about in this frame.
Yeah, a lot of people would say, why didn't he just roll it in? But it's not the O'Sullivan way, is it? It's not the way he rolls. Likes to play those shots positively.
Not quite covered the red in the open. Ronnie will be reluctant to bring either of those two reds off the left-hand side cushion. May have to play a little swerve here, but he'd rather be playing the opening red than the open red than the other two.
Yeah, there's a chance to develop something. Still far from really being in the frame, but it just has to take a risk here. Get both reds open. Good shot. Yeah, good shot.
Ronnie just looking for one more red. Don't think he played the pot there. If he did, he certainly had on the side of hitting it thin rather than thick. Yeah, don't blame him for taking that on. It was a half chance, and if it went in, it'd have been on the pink. But Ronnie, as I say, just needs the red. And then it goes.
One.
So not without a few scares once again, but looks like Ronnie's reduced his arrears to one frame. The leads, 43 remaining, 2 snookers required. Now is James Cahill going to play this? It's not an easy table, and he concedes. And both players are going to the dressing room, so as I say, be prepared for a roller coaster of a ride. Still don't know how this is going to turn out, but James Cahill still leads. But now it's 8-7. Well, both players have left the arena when they return. So just have a look at a few stats in this match. And Ronnie O'Sullivan at 87% pot success. That's unusual. And James Cahill below 90%.
Yeah, interesting stats, aren't they? You know, that always put these up, and a lot of people don't take a lot of stock in them, but I suppose at the end of the day they are facts, aren't they? It's a guideline as much as anything. But yeah, Ronnie having to battle his way back into this match. I think I always had a sense of O'Sullivan, well, the first half of his career he didn't battle, but he's battling today.
Yeah, just a few shots that we're seeing. This one he was overstretching. He put the extension on his cue. It was one of those, you've got to hit the middle of the cue ball, but you're just overstretching, didn't catch it. This one left-handed. The type of situation where you come to the table and you think, well, I can't win the frame at this visit, but you've got to concentrate on every single shot. And this one, well, this was an all or nothing shot. And that was the one that eventually cost him the frame. Don't blame him for taking it on. Both players now back in the room. Another.
Thank you, frame 16.
Big frame.
James Cahill to break.
Very attacking safety shot there from Ronnie. It's okay playing those thick safeties if you get a good cue ball, which he has. Puts a little bit of pressure on James now with this safety. And if he misses the green, it'll be a good shot. But he hasn't. I don't think he's left a pot on though. But with Ronnie with his hand on the table, it's an easy safety. Although I say he's not left a pot on, Ronnie eyeing this red up to the right corner. And a terrific pot it was. I mean, he set his stall out. Anything that looks like it's potable, he's going to go for. It's a risky game to play.
There again. Ronnie on the wander, on the walkabout. Looking at the options. Signs are slowly but surely getting better. He's getting more tuned in here. Yeah, even there, that's the shot. That's the clever shot.
Seven.
Green spot helps.
Eight.
If and when he pots that black and get it out of the way, it's just congesting the situation just a tad.
$14. 15.
Yeah, he came a little bit straight on that thing. I think he'd like to have a nicer angle on it so he could have potted it and maybe nudged into the cluster. He'd have always had this red available. So it looks like he's going to play it off the black, but believe me, this black at pace is missable. Alan has mentioned that the black will go on the green spot, but got to be accurate with this. And was. Now, how's your luck? It's not bad. He's got a red to the right corner.
$29. 30.
And for once, he's not got the perfect angle on the blue, but there's a red that was next to the one he's just potted that he can just roll the blue in and play on.
$35.
16. Once again, wrong side of the blue, and now it's a bit more difficult to get good position on the next red. And if he tries to run round off three cushions, he's got to try and avoid that green and black, which he has done. Needs to run on a bit more though. Only tricky shots left.
41.
We know he's not going to refuse anything, but this is not straightforward.
Yeah, tricky pink. Played this frame one today. Oh, what a shot. The lightest of touches.
48.
There was no panic. There was no duress in the shot.
49.
Just caressed the pink home, and he looks tuned in all of a sudden. My goodness, it's taken his time to find it, but he's looking better and better and better as this match reaches the conclusion.
55. 56.
Once upon a time, as I said earlier, I thought there was a time when he didn't win enough wars earlier in his career, O'Sullivan, that he's made of sterner stuff.
62.
These days.
63.
This blue and one more red. Well, the blue will put him 68 points in front with 67 remaining, but just want to get that extra red. You don't want your opponent coming back and dragging things out, playing for
68.
snookers.
69.
And that should do it. And we're all level. Started out the best of 19. It's turned into a best of 5.
$75.
Well, in actual fact, a best of 3.
$76.
Makes it even more unpredictable.
$82.
He's changed his mind there twice
83.
on the shot. He didn't know whether to pot the red and try and bring a red into play, and then he thought, no, if I get a nice angle on the pink, I'll be able to get on those reds. This red just goes.
89. Foul.
Well, Ronnie called himself there. Felt it was a push shot, so we won't see a century, but what we have seen is Ronnie O'Sullivan digging in. Doesn't look too happy, but it's 8 apiece and all to play for.
As quietly as possible, please. Thank you.
Well, it's all about fine margins now, as we were saying, and this opening red from Ronnie, I mean, it was one of those that you think is very risky, but he cued it like a dream.
Shot of the match, wasn't it? You know, 8-7 behind. Pressure on it. Not getting a safe cue ball right in the heart of the pocket. And he just looks to be coming to form just at the correct time, John.
The only thing is, as I say, it started off the best of 19, now it's best of 3. A run of the ball, either way, can make all the difference now.
Yeah, it's walking a fine line. He just looks, I don't know, he looks tired.
So great news for snooker fans. We are staying with this all the way through to the end. We can't take our eyes off this one. Daily Politics will switch back to BBC One, so it's uninterrupted snooker all the way until 6 o'clock. Let's get straight back to it.
Yeah, referee Olivia Martial has set the balls up. And Ronnie, well, what he's showing us on the table tells us he's up for the battle. But there's pressure out there now.
Thank you, frame
and
17.
it's on him as well.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
All to play for. Possible 3 frames to play. Good break off. Anything that doesn't leave a pot on. Little tap on the table from James. An appreciation of that break off shot from Ronnie. And when you get loose reds on either side of the cluster, it's not just a case of dropping into the side of the bunch because you leave a pot on. So he's trying to come in off 2 cushions. He's misjudged this a couple of times, pace-wise. Doesn't want to be short with this one. He could leave a red to the middle.
Foul and a miss.
Didn't reach.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
See no reason why Ronnie won't have this replaced. Referee Olivia Martial. I know they've got the second referee on, but you'd think they devised some system where it's a bit easier to replace the balls. They're replaced so many times, aren't they?
I've always believed in the eyes system.
Just clip it, yeah.
You know,
Touch more to the right.
again, no. For example, excuse me, where the cue ball is now, is it a straight pot in the brown to the middle?
Ronnie?
You know? You get in the line and you look at how straight that pot is. That tells you where the cue ball was. There now. Has he got the pace this time?
He's narrow. He's short again.
Miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Now Ronnie may come and have a look to see if this red, the outside red's available to the right, far right corner. I don't know whether he can see enough of it. If he can, I see no reason once again not to replace them. Well, can he see enough of it to play the pot? Thinks he can. But it's not there. And James Cahill, after having the problem of trying to escape from a snooker, just comes back to the table and he's got a nice easy starter.
I wonder how many times in James Young's snooker career and snooker life has he thought to himself, I'd love to one day be at the Crucible and maybe be 8-all against someone like O'Sullivan. If he has, he's got his wish. What's he got?
Played that black a little bit tentatively, well short of where he wanted to be on this red. It's still potable, but you won't be certain where the cue ball's going to finish.
Nine.
But he controlled the cannon nicely, and he's perfect on the black, and he's loosened the reds.
$16. 17.
Just struggling with his cue ball control at the moment. But with that red being near the baulk cushion, nice angle on the green to get on that red.
$20. 21.
Just a quick reminder for you, we are staying with this all the way through to the end. So Daily Politics, which was due to be on this channel, will switch back to BBC One. So it's uninterrupted snooker all the way until 6 o'clock. Let's get straight back to it.
On this red to the left middle.
26.
As I say, not had complete control of cue ball. But he's got the red to the left middle. He'd be looking for a nice angle on the blue, you would have thought.
$27.
He's got that now. I don't know whether the top red will go to the left corner. If it does, it's just a case of rolling the blue in.
Yeah, nothing doing. I think he's looking at two cushions, forcing. Can he avoid the pink? Yeah. Brilliant shot. Deserves to be on one.
32.
Is he on one? Possibly one to the middle as we look at that again. Hit them well. He's just about on this red. Doesn't have to do much to be on the black. Nicely played.
33.
Straighter on the black would have been better. But he's certainly holding himself together very well.
Sure.
Well, he was up very quick there, and I think he did get a heavy contact, but thankfully for him, it didn't affect the line of the black.
$40.
No matter how good you are, when you sat in that seat, there's nothing you can do about it. Took on a red to the far right corner, with all eyes on the pot, and nothing a thought of a shot for nothing.
$41.
Perfect. Absolutely inch perfect.
Yeah, that's good. Playing for a choice of reds.
46.
I think here the pink's the ball to play for. Yeah, keep the cue ball in the middle of the table. He's maybe coming down for black. Should be all right, but playing off the black, he's still got to play quite a precise little positional shot.
Another 24 points from here to get to snooker's required. There's 7 of them, and nicely on this red.
54. $55.
It's hard to see where the problem is to stop him winning the frame now at this visit and going within 1 frame of a place in the second round. And as I said earlier, one of the biggest shocks ever
62.
at the World Championship here at the Crucible. Oh, would you believe it? Would you believe it?
James Cahill,
was that
62.
the winning line looming large? That's all I can think of. Straightforward shot. It's amazing what can be missed. And what a miss that was. So Ronnie O'Sullivan comes to the table. 54 points behind. 75 remaining. Could that be the big turning point in this match? Well, he can't believe it. And this red that Ronnie's played on was, well, these two were the most difficult reds.
7.
And now everything in the open.
Yeah, I've seen many times
14.
how the act of this play. Oh, Ronnie's had a kick.
15.
He's had a heavy contact. I'm going to say we've seen many times how this has played out. That
Well, surely he can't play the pot here, can he? He's got it. Well, unbelievable. That was an amazing shot.
22.
James Cahill must have thought there was a chance to get back to the table, but this is a tough red coming up here. Another superb pot, needs to miss the brown for position. He's done that. He's on track for a big, big steal here. Sharp intake of breath from this packed Crucible audience, and I'm certain there was one from
25.
Ronnie. That didn't go in clean.
26.
Finished absolutely inch perfect on the pink. So it's red cover and the 6 remaining colours
32.
to take the lead at this vital time.
33.
He'd love to be straight on this pink, and he is, but take nothing for granted.
39.
This pressure, this tension,
41.
and you've still got to pot the balls. I always think the key for a clearance like this is from brown to blue. If he pots the
44.
brown, gets inch perfect on the blue, you can't see him missing. So this, to me, key shot.
$48. $53.
Just the wrong side of the pink. May have to play for the black in the same pocket twice across. Would you believe it?
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
He's
53.
gotten away with it. I think he's
Settle
just
down,
gotten away with
please.
it, John.
Well,
Thank you.
he came a little bit too straight. Does this pink cut? Ronnie trying to play the pink with lots of left-hand side, which caused him to miss it. I think this pink does cut, but it's mighty, mighty thin. And the cue ball will be running loose.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I think he's trying to convince himself. The shake of the head tells us he doesn't think it cuts, but he's trying to convince himself. One in front, a good safety. One might be important, the difference.
Well, he'll know from behind the shot better, and the fact he's playing it, he doesn't think it pots. So Ronnie was fortunate not to leave the pink there. So it's all about this battle. James Cahill needs the pink to go 7 in front with 7 remaining. Ronnie O'Sullivan needs pink and black. But first of all, the problem of getting this safe.
That's a fabulous shot. Oh, sorry, my mistake. He's caught the knuckle. Now, has he got enough angle to get this cue ball down by topping it through, or is he going to have to go deep in the cue ball? Is he addressing it? Let's see, 1 in front then. He's coming round the houses, it looks like, going deep. Played it nicely. Where's the cue ball?
$6.
Tough black to take a frame. He almost certainly thought he'd lost.
Yeah, 2 bites at the cherry then. Can he take the first? What a big shot. It's there. What a frame for James Cahill to win in the end. It looked for all the world O'Sullivan was going to win it and go a frame away from victory, but it's the young man who takes it. He's 1 up with 2 to play.
Quietly, please.
Wow, what an incredible performance from James Cahill. Well, we're staying on BBC Two right through to 6 o'clock tonight, so it's non-stop snooker until then. If you are tuning in expecting to watch Politics Live, that's over on BBC One.
Yeah, how would you like to be in the family? The nerves and the tension, the pressure. And of course, when Ronnie was clearing up, but he just come too straight on the blue, and he I don't know whether he got a heavy contact, but he certainly didn't want to be this low on the pink. And he decided to play it with lots of left-hand side. Now, when you play with side, anything is missable. And that's what he did. Okay, he was lucky to get away with it. But on the other hand, you'd say, well, James Cahill was lucky to get away with the fact that Ronnie missed the pink. But good safety shot from James Cahill. Didn't feel as though he could cut the pink in. Ronnie left him the pink. And it has to be said, what a superb black he potted here to get within one frame of victory against the favourite for this year's Betfred World Snooker Championship. Good shot and very relieved. Just sat there having a sip of water. Big moments in this young man's career as Ronnie O'Sullivan comes back into the arena.
Thank you. Frame 18. James Cahill to break.
Bit thin off the break-off, that's why he's not got the green as the cover. Who's going to get the first chance in this one? Well, he's got a good cue ball, but there might be a chance here that this red goes. And I'll tell you what, I don't know, it's my imagination. It's getting so tight. James was just going back to look at the line of the shot and knock Ronnie's water all over the place. I don't ever remember it being that tight, but that's the way it is at the moment. Little hop, skip and a jump there from Ron. Looks like he can get through to this red. Well, he couldn't. He couldn't see enough of it. But when we're in this two-table situation, there's definitely, there you see it, just that flimsy wall between the two, but not much room for the players. Needs to miss the yellow for this to be any good. Has done. Not found the baulk cushion. Not left anything easy. Playing the return back to ball. Got to be careful he doesn't knock a red towards the right corner. Oh, and he's caught it wrong, and it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who gets the first chance. Now Ronnie will be disappointed in the last frame when he missed the pink. Can he put that disappointment behind him and concentrate on the task in front?
One.
Worst way, I think he can get to the red that's closest to the left middle pocket. The reason I say that, he'd like to play the red just above the black, but he's slightly hampered. Clear path to this one, just got to control the cue ball because it's travelling a distance. Needs to miss the yellow. Has done.
8.
Not perfect. Straight on the green is not ideal.
Yeah, clever shot that. Played for the loose one. You overcook it, you got the two together and trying to develop that pink spot area. So I'm going to have to work off blue just for the minute.
12.
That's not a very good shot though. for once. O'Sullivan lands short.
It's all about pace. Well, he's on this red. And just about got a little bit of work to do with the cue ball though, and using the rest. I'm actually amazed how good he is with the rest, considering he plays most shots left-handed. Cued it well. He won't mind being on the green.
18.
He'd prefer the green to the blue, just stun round off 2, 3 cushions, play for the red on the right-hand side of the table, or the one just above the black. It's not a typical Ronnie O'Sullivan break, this, because the black's slightly out of commission. Well, he's thinking blue. Must have seen something below the pink that's available. I think the 2 reds just below, the left-hand one of those probably goes, and he thought if he could get on that, he could play for the pink in the middle, but he's just run through a little bit too far. And once he got in that position, always going to be tricky. Now, you would say a good safety shot order of the day, but no hesitation playing the blue. Can he miss the kiss on the green? No, he can't.
$29.
Just all-out attack. Tremendous pot. But surely he's got to play safe now.
Yeah, I agree with you, John. Surely he's not taking this blue on. I mean... Oh, what a shot that is! Oh my goodness. The 2 best shots in a row of this championship 35. So far. Talk about pushing the boat out. That was like pushing out the cruise liner.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, he's pushing his talent to the limit here. I don't think anyone argues the greatest player has ever picked up a cue, but he's really asking everything of his ability. He's refusing to back away from any shot. It's admirable, but it's risky.
41. $42.
This red just to the left of the black is available, should he want to play it. But decided to play the cannon. Oh, and that's what can go wrong. He's been unlucky not to run into the corner. The question is, what has he left? You've got to say unlucky. But you always take a risk when you play cannons at that pace.
Yeah, the switch again. Oh, that is wonderful. That is wonderful with your opposite hand. And had the presence of mind to play the cue ball into bulk, which meant he could strike it more positively. Still thinking properly, James. They're all there. But boy, his heart will be beating to some tune. They are there. Now, drop nicely on this pink. Just find a little gap.
Nice touch. Well played. Good signs for the rest of this visit.
You'd love to be brave enough to play. He's not going to do it. I was going to say, you'd love to be brave enough to play for the red behind the black spot off that pink, but I don't blame him. He's trying to
11.
Get back in it before tackling that difficult last red.
Just about got the angle on the blue where he can screw back, leave himself a straight red to the right corner, and then be able to play for the pink.
18.
This frame and match is in his hands.
17.
Can he hold himself together?
18.
Now, does he have the angle to possibly play for the red this time, the difficult red? He's coming around to have a look at sort of angle in this. It may just be too low of straight. Yeah, he can't play on the low red. Two massive shots coming up now.
Sure.
What do you do here, John? Top side of blue?
24.
Well, you want an angle on one of them to drop on that awkward red. And Ronnie O'Sullivan, has his race been run? Or will he get one more chance?
$25.
Played for the blue. You can see on the expression on his face come too straight. He's not going to be able to get on this last red now, so maybe a plan will be to just either play a safety come snooker here. Well, he's looking at the brown, but that's a big shot to play at this stage of a match. Well, he's going to play the brown, swing it round off three cushions. Massive shot. Good pot, good line. Good length. It's no gimme this red, but it could be a possible frame and match winner.
Yeah, this red is the biggest shot of his life. Stealing himself.
Tremendous pot, perfect on the green. And now up to and including the pink for an unbelievable
33.
victory against what everybody says is the greatest player that's ever lived.
35.
He said when he drew Ronnie in the draw, he was relishing the opportunity to play Ronnie at the Crucible. And just 4 pots away from achieving a dream.
38.
3 pots away.
$42.
Inch perfect on the blue. Ronnie's race surely is run. People will criticise Ronnie O'Sullivan for his performance in the first session and shot selection, but every credit to this young man, this pink, for an unbelievable victory. In it goes! In it goes, and Ronnie O'Sullivan, the #1 player in the world, the greatest of all time, is out. And James Cahill has proved one of the biggest shocks ever here at the Crucible Theatre. He storms out the arena. What a performance, what a victory. He beats Ronnie O'Sullivan 10 frames to 8, and he's in round 2.
The biggest story in Crucible history, bar none. Absolutely extraordinary victory. The first amateur ever to make it to the Crucible, and he's beaten arguably the greatest of all time, Ronnie O'Sullivan, after an unbelievable season. All of these achievements which have been put into the shade here. Please give us your reaction, Steve.
Well, firstly, what a fantastic performance by James Cahill. The way he cleared those balls up under significant pressure, because they were there to be taken, and sometimes that makes it an even harder job. And knowing what was probably going through his mind about how big a deal it would be to still hold himself together, pot that last red, and then clear what was a normal set of colours under that pressure. Absolutely fantastic. He must be absolutely delighted. For Ronnie O'Sullivan, that first session was a tough one, and that's why the players don't like this first round. There's only 2 sessions. You have a bad session, it's not great. Best of 19.
When we look back on the history of shocks at the Crucible, and this is not just in snooker, this is in sport we're talking. This is one of the most seismic shocks ever in sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I don't want to remind Steve of when he lost to Tony Knowles in the first round as defending champion, but yeah, this is one of the biggest. It's probably the biggest, because the fact that James Cahill is still an amateur, you know, the first amateur ever played the Crucible, beat probably the greatest player that's ever played the game, and looked so calm and played with a smile on the face. Didn't look like he was nervous, looked like he was loving every minute of it. But huge shock, huge shock.
So how do we explain this? Let's ask in Ronnie's defence. How does he explain it to himself, what's going on out there?
Well, he looked yesterday, he looked like he didn't want to be there. And I don't know the reasons for that, but he played like he didn't want to be there. He sort of was bailing out in some shots just by attacking all the time. He's an attacking player, and we all like attacking play, but when you're attacking so much, it sort of goes the opposite way. It's as if you're sort of like hoping to be knocked out in a strange way. But we don't know the reasons why. But the fact that he let James Cahill get 5-4 was enough of a fillip for James Cahill to fancy the chance today. Different story today, yes, but then it's only a best of 10, best of 9.
Well, there were some suggestions, you were in commentary yesterday, that perhaps the 15-second shot time belied maybe a little bit of casualness, but was that replaced by maybe even trying too hard today? Was there an element of that?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see much of it yesterday. I was only sort of peeking around as I was commentating on the other match, but from what I saw, yeah, played very casual. It was almost like with a lot of sort of disrespect in a way. Didn't want to be there. Didn't look like he fancied the job for whatever reason. Maybe he's not feeling too well. Didn't look well. But you'd have to say hats off to James Cahill, because he's got to still concentrate on the job. Big match for him. Huge sort of you know, big sort of glamour, and coming to this match and huge sort of press cuttings about being the first amateur and playing Ronnie O'Sullivan, but he fancied the job, he was loving every minute of it, and hats off to him.
How much more assurance did he seem to acquire the longer the match went on, or ironically, when one might have expected an amateur on his debut here perhaps to have balked at that winning line?
Well, it's all a case of table time in a way. If you get the encouragement from your opponent, you can forget the enormity of what's happening, because you're just playing the game. And he did what so many rookies have not done when they've come here. He didn't play like a frozen rabbit in the headlights. He really did play with a level of assurance that, I mean, I'm not sure if I thought he had it. I have not seen enough of James Cahill. He obviously feels he had it, because the way he came out and played was wonderful. From Ronnie O'Sullivan's perspective, you know, we always think he's superhuman and he doesn't suffer with the nerves. But if you're going to suffer with nerves, the Crucible Theatre is where it comes out. Perhaps, even though with such a great season he's had, perhaps the enormity sometimes of the World Championship weighs heavy on him.
Well, lightning has actually struck 3 times here, because James Cahill beat Mark Selby in the UK Championship in December when he was world #1. He's beaten Ding Junhui in the week that he ascended to world #1 at the UK Championship. This is the 3rd time he's beaten the world's #1 player in a major championship. And here he comes. Come on in, James. Congratulations. Wow.
Well done. Well done. Great.
James Cahill, the first amateur ever to play at the Crucible. Never in doubt, was it?
I'm not sure. I couldn't really stand up at the end then. You've just caught me fresh, so I'm not really sure what to say, to be honest.
You were 5-4 up coming into this morning. You must have expected an onslaught from Ronnie, but how much more confident were you feeling as the frames went through?
Yeah, like the first frame, I broke off. He's knocked a like 90 a century in. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have to play well today, because yesterday wasn't the best, to be honest. Neither of us played well, you know, especially Ronnie. But then after that, the frame after, I think he's on like 50, 60 again, and it looked like he was going to, you know, clear up again. And I did a good pressure 70, something like that, to go 6-5. And then after that, I just felt, I don't know, I just felt like he was under a bit of pressure. Obviously, he's not wanting to lose to me, is he? You know, and I understand that, but you know, there's a lot of pressure out there.
But there's pressure and expectation on you to make the most of the opportunities you were getting.
Yeah.
And that sometimes is harder when you know you're supposed to pot the balls, especially at the end of that frame. To clear the reds, they weren't the hardest lot. There was one tricky one next to the flag.
It looked hard to me.
But take us back to when you dropped off the tour. Could you have envisaged this many years on, all of a sudden where you are now?
Yeah, well, I've always believed in myself a lot. You know, I believe I can beat anyone on the day, and I've just shown that. And you know, I just needed a bit of time off to get back to it. But you know, this is what I want to do now. I'm hoping, you know, when I've got my tour card back, and you know, I'm hoping to show what I can do now.
James, when you came here as the first amateur, there was a little bit of, I guess there was a sort of reticence to celebrate that, because you've always considered yourself amongst the professional ranks. You are a professional player again now, but you've got to embrace the achievement of playing here as an amateur, first of all. And just take us through the clearing up of the last few balls, down to the pink in frame 18. How did you hold yourself together there?
Well, I don't really know. I felt like falling over at one point. But I've been scoring really well. Like in the qualifiers, I had the most centuries, I think, out of all the professionals that went. So, you know, I might, you know, class as an amateur, but you know, that shows itself. I think I'm scoring really well. But I've gone out there today. I've played a few shots going into the pack where I was just playing it wrong. I knew what shot it was. I was just, you know, just a few times just playing a bad shot, because there's so much pressure out there. But you know, it's
describe to players that have never played here, or to club players, the difference, if you can, between turning up for a normal tournament compared to walking out in that area at the Crucible.
Yeah, it's hard to describe really, unless you go out. Like, it's so small. I think I knocked the water over at one point, because I'm looking back to see the shot, and next minute I'm sat on Ronnie's lap pretty much. It's that close.
And the crowd are so close to you as well.
Yeah, really close. Like when I first gone in, I went in come up a few days before just to try and settle in really, and I've come out, and well, when I've gone to watch with people there, the atmosphere is just completely different, and I got a bit nervous when I watched people in there, because I thought, God, that's quite loud.
And also the thinking process. Sometimes the obvious things are hard to sort of grasp, aren't they? You know, doing the maths even on the board, or...
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I felt really... I've gone out, and I was nervous before I've gone out, and I thought I'd be nervous when I've gone out there, but I wasn't. And it surprised me, to be honest. Like, I just felt really good, and obviously I was a bit tense at parts, but... You know, apart from that, if I can just hopefully now kick on, you know, I know my scoring in my games there. I don't think I've shown it that much there. I've done good pressure clearances, and I think I've shown quite a lot of bottle. But, you know, I think I can offer a bit more than that as well.
James, when we think back to those victories over Ding Junhui and Mark Selby in the UK Championship over the last couple of years, in fact, most recently in December, you've got quite a track record of knocking #1s out in major tournaments. At some point before this match, did memories of those big moments in your career, did they kind of fuel you? Did they buoy your confidence even?
Yeah, well, obviously it helps. I know that I can go out and perform on a big stage, and you know, it doesn't get much bigger than that really. So that's sort of put me in good stead, a bit of confidence. And as I've gone out, you know, I didn't feel like I felt good straight away, which, you know, which I think shows I've got quite a good temperament for this arena really.
Were you aware of the way that Ronnie was playing last night? Seemed a bit strange?
Yeah, it was hard to play against that, because obviously you don't expect him to miss so many balls, and then you like, I was quite happy with it at 2-2, you know, 3-3 when he was potting and I was potting, he was potting, you know, it seems normal. And then when he starts missing a few, you come to the table and you think, right, I've got a chance now, but then it happens again, and by the time you know it, you miss a couple and it sort of catches on. And I've just gone out there today, tried to be professional, not take on too many things, and just commit to my own game, really. You know, it's easy to get dragged into other people's games.
We saw some pictures of your family up there. How's your mum and dad and all the family?
They'll be over the moon with that. You know, they're everything. You know, my family, my supporters. You know, everyone who's supported me so much. I owe so much to them. You know, it's nice to just win. It was nice to qualify. It's nice to beat Ronnie. You know, everything's just, you know, perfect today.
James, stay with us. We're going to hear more from you, but we better hear from the man that you've just beaten, the world #1, Ronnie O'Sullivan, out of the tournament. Here's his reaction.
Ronnie, thanks for talking to us. People here are absolutely stunned, especially after the fantastic season you've had. At times there, you look tired and out of sorts, and as though you were struggling to stay awake. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm just feeling, all my limbs feel really heavy, legs, arms. I feel absolutely shattered, just drained really. I had no energy. Was just struggling to just stay awake. You know, I haven't got no visual sort of stuff. I just feel like absolutely horrendous, to be honest with you.
Was there anything that happened since we've seen you last that could have explained what happened out there over the last couple of days? You've been brilliant this season, but it just seemed to fall apart.
Yeah, you just can't choose. You know, you have to come here physically, mentally feeling good, and you know, mentally I was feeling, you know, up for it. You know, like you said, I've had a good season. You know, I didn't expect to do well here, but you come here just sort of, you know, trying to do your best. And you know, if you're physically not 100%, then you know it's gonna make it even harder. So I just tried to hang in there. I tried to do as much as I could and just see if I could get through this match and then have a few days off to try and, you know, feel a little bit better. You know.
You'd never lost to a debutant here in the first round. Were you surprised at how unintimidated he was by the context and the occasion and the opponent?
Well, there's two ways you can look at that. You know, you can look at it in a way that, you know, he's come here and played brilliantly and fair play to him, or you can also look at it and say, you know, I kind of left him, you know, pretty easy chances and, you know, allowed him to gain some confidence. And so there's two ways you can look at it, but whatever way you look at it, you have to give credit to him that he got over the line. You know.
And from 8-5 down, all of a sudden, you got yourself together, you were right back in the match, and then that missed pink on 8-all, you would have been one away from the winning line.
Yeah, I played a bad shot in the blue and sort of left myself a bit of a horrible angle, really. And, you know, I tried to put it aside, missed it, and, you know, he putted a good pink and black.
Would it have made a difference, do you think, if you'd played a few more tournaments this season, or is it just one of those things?
Like I say, you can look at it other ways. You can say, you know, the players that have played more probably deserve to have a better run in this tournament, or you could just say, you know, I might have played the right amount and it just wasn't meant to be. You know, it's just one of them things.
It takes real class to front up after a defeat like that. Thanks for talking to us, Ronnie. We'll see you next season.
No problem. Thank you. Cheers.
He always is a class act, Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5-time world champion, is out, however, and after the unbelievable season that he's had, Rob talked about context there, how much of a shadow does this cast upon the achievements this season?
I think you'd reflect on the whole season. You can't really reflect on your season over one match, you know, and one loss. To someone who played as well as James did over the last couple of days, but you could tell that Ronnie is not out. So, I mean, the most important thing for Ronnie and for Snooker is that he's healthy, you know, and well, and obviously doesn't look well, you know, didn't play to his best, you know, and but you know, that's the way it is. The game is tough when you're not feeling good. The game is very tough, and anyway, you know.
How do you view that subject, Steve?
From a seasonal point of view, he'll be disappointed, as will many people, that he's out of the tournament. But I don't think it reflects on his season. It's been incredible, and the fact he's the only player truly capable of picking and choosing events and still maintaining a top 16 position at the age of 43. It's just amazing. I still maintain, should he want to, at the age of 50, he could win ranking events, which I think is sort of unheard of for any other player. I think most other players will be either retiring or losing confidence. But you know, it's another season. Next season he'll pick and choose again. But it is a disappointment, and I think without going one step further, it probably is one person will be quite happy today will be Stephen Hendry. I think it's very tough now for Ronnie O'Sullivan to overcome 7 world championships.
You think that could be the end of it?
I think it's just one tournament every year. You've got to identify it. You can't guarantee you're going to be in the best of sorts for it. You can't guarantee you're going to switch the switch. It's going to work. I think Stephen Hendry's record is going to be secure.
I think all of this talk about Ronnie's magnificent season underscores the magnitude, however, of your achievement today. You've beaten a man who's made 1,000 centuries, who's got 19 major titles, who's got 36 world ranking titles, who's broken record after record, and you're the man that's going through to play Steve Maguire in the next round. And what are you going to do between then and now?
Just probably relax, you know, have a bit of a practice, work on a couple of things, because, you know, I'm happy, you know, I know I'm playing well, but there was a couple of times out there where I was just missing a few balls, which if Ronnie was playing well, I wouldn't have won that match. And, you know, I know that, and I'm just happy to be through and happy to be in the next round. You know, what a fantastic win that is.
Have you checked your phone? Has it exploded yet?
I don't even want to look. I don't want to look.
I know you've been working with Chris Henry, who has a number of pupils in his stable, but I wonder how much he has helped you, and in terms of staying calm and staying positive out there, what sort of help has he been for you?
Oh, it's been, you know, it's helped me through to that next stage. I think I've always been like quite a good player, I think, but it's hard to go out and do it, you know, out there. It's hard to do it in the qualifiers when things go wrong, because things go wrong a lot. And, you know, I owe a lot to him the last few months, definitely, to get where I am today.
It's also quite a strange thing. Not many players have got a mum who knows whether you played the right shot or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she's a player as well.
Yeah, well, she says that she plays every shot through me, which I presume she does, so she was probably shaking like I was at on that last shot. So, you know, it's just nice to win for her as well, because she took me around, you know, to Pontins when I was younger, sulking when I lost, and, you know, she's put up with the brunt of it, really. So
you must be really proud.
Yeah, and my dad, you know, everyone, everyone.
Without putting you on the spot, after a win like this, how much confidence about doing some further damage in this championship do you have now?
Yeah, like as I said before, I've got a lot of faith in myself and belief, because if you don't, you know, who's going to? You know, you've got to believe you can win that match or any match, and I did, and I think, you know, that showed a little bit at the end, because, you know, if you don't believe you can win, when it comes to the end there, you're probably not clearing up.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think you've got to give him respect to the players, because especially Ronnie, you know, is best player in the game. But, you know, there's only so much respect I think you can have for players if you're playing them, because as soon as you have a bit more, then, you know, you can't stand up, sort of thing. Yeah. So, you know, it's a fine balance, but, you know, I'm just glad to clear up there.
Well, we've talked about the impact that you've made here, but the impact upon the other players who are left in the championship must be significant as well. And you've got so many who've been in the frame to win this title, including the likes of Neil Robertson and, of course, Judd Trump, who's due up very shortly. Now, this is an absolutely huge result. It will be reverberating throughout sport at the moment. How will they view it?
They shouldn't be too delighted. They've got to play the person they're playing at any one time, because if you start looking at the draw and how it unfolds, that's where you go wrong. Just play one frame at a time. That's all snooker's ever been. Don't look at the draw, ever.
Yeah. But inside, they'll be jumping up and down. And they'll be all coming up to congratulate you. Know, be sure of that. Every time he goes into the practice table, they'll be going in to congratulate James. Yeah, it throws the draw wide open. Throws the draw wide open for this young man as well. Sure. He's be brimming with confidence. He's got Steve Maguire, another tough competitor in the next round, but fantastic opportunity for